This is the new Samsung Galaxy A35 and nothing phone 2A. Which phone is a better value? Hi everyone, this is JD, your gadget review friend. Welcome back to GadgetRevNow. We rarely do the speed test and versus series, but I thought this day we'll have a good candidate, Galaxy A35 and nothing phone 2A. Both closely match on the price point, and I feel like because of their limitation, it's good to know what you would buy for the amount of money you have. For less than $500, depending on your region, which phone will give you a better value? Let the battle begin. This is a quick comparison of nothing phone 2A versus Galaxy A35, nothing phone 2A on the left and Galaxy A35 on the right. In terms of build quality, nothing phone 2A is a little bit inferior compared to A35. It has Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection in front, and from the side to the back, you only have plastic protection, so definitely you need a case on this phone. While Galaxy A35, although a little bit pricier than nothing phone 2A, it has better build quality. It has Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus in front, which you will find on flagship phones. You only have a plastic frame like nothing phone, but one good thing about this phone is you have a glass back, so it doesn't really require a case on this phone because the back won't scratch that easily. The design is where nothing phone 2A shines. First, you have a two-tone look on nothing phone. Obviously, if you get the black version of this phone, it's more minimalist. But if you get the white version, you will have a panda-looking phone, black and white. Obviously, the biggest selling point of this phone is the 3 LED strips light at the back. This lights up when you have notification, changing volume, and if you're playing music, which is super stunning. While Galaxy A35 is banking on the flagship-looking triple camera module, obviously it looks like Galaxy S24. The dead giveaway is the size of the phone. Obviously, A35 and A55 are bigger than S24. In terms of protection, the new mid-range Galaxy A35 will beat nothing phone 2A. Obviously, nothing phone only has IP54 protection, which means it's splash resistant. You cannot submerge this to water. While Galaxy A35 has IP57 water and dust resistance, you can obviously dunk this to water or bring this to shower, and water cannot penetrate the ports like the charging port or the speakers, so it will have better protection than phone 2A. I still feel it will be nicer to put cases on these phones, especially nothing phone 2A, because it will get ugly really fast if you scratch the back cover. If you will purchase these phones for display, I think you would be happy owning any of these two phones, especially the size, 6.7-inch on nothing phone and 6.6-inch on A35. A little bit smaller but almost the same. The chin and the bezels on A35 is more pronounced than nothing phone. I feel like the screen on nothing phone 2A is like a flagship grade panel. Both are AMOLED screen and it goes head to head with a 120Hz refresh rate, and I feel like they're using the same technology because the max brightness is 1100 nits. A little bit taller aspect ratio on nothing phone 2A, 20:9 against 19.5:9, but if you look side by side, it's almost the same. Performance-wise, let's run a Geekbench test to see how these two phones perform, and I will not bore you with opening of apps, gaming test, but we will just go directly on the scores and see how they both perform. Okay, so looking at the scores, you have a better result on nothing phone 2A on single core, but on multi-cores, Galaxy A35 beats the competition. I would say on my day-to-day activity, it feels like the same phone game-wise. I don't feel any issues with these two phones, although both phones will heat up during extended period. But anyone using these phones know when you buy a budget mid-range phone, it probably will work better on browsing, social media, and content consumption. The storage is a little bit different on both phones, so basically if you buy the base model of these two phones, nothing phone will give you bigger storage capacity at 256 gigs, so you can install a lot of apps and games on this phone. That's probably one of the better reasons of buying phone 2A. There's no micro SD card slot on phone 2A, but you can have dual SIM capability, which is one of the better reasons or the advantage of this phone. Now it's a different story on Galaxy A35. It only has 128 gigs of internal storage, so it's a little bit limited in terms of apps and games. But if you look on the SIM slot, you will see that it has micro SD card slot. I tested 128 gigs of external storage and it works. I think it would even take 1 terabyte of micro SD card, but sadly I don't have that. In terms of camera performance, we will not deep dive like what we usually do on a camera comparison test. We will do a separate video on these two phones, so stay tuned. But you would see that Galaxy A35 has one more camera sensors at the back comparing to nothing phone 2A. They both have ultra wide and wide, which on my initial test provides really good images. The biggest difference here is the video resolution on the rear camera. Both phones can shoot 4K video recording, but using the selfie or front camera, phone 2A can only shoot 1080p video, while Galaxy A35 can shoot 4K video recording. Also, that additional lens at the back is actually the macro capability of A35, and if you shoot close-up shots on both phones using the macro of A35, you will have macro capability on this phone. Softwares and updates are almost the same on both phones. Initially, out of the box, they have Android 14. Nothing phone is actually running on almost stock Google experience on Nothing OS, while A35 has One UI 6.1, which is Samsung's Android skin. I believe, and you can correct me on this, Nothing Phone 2A will only get 3 years of OS upgrade, while you have 5 years on Galaxy A35, which is longer. If you want to keep your phone longer than usual or you want to resell it, then definitely go with Galaxy A35. And lastly, battery life and charging. Again, we will do a separate test on this, our day in the life test. But initially, if you look on the processor, 4nm versus 5nm, the processor on Nothing Phone is more efficient. Both phones have 5000 mAh battery, and since both can register 1100 nits of max brightness, I think Nothing Phone will have a little bit of edge on this. And on charging speed, it has 45 watts compared to 25 watts of A55. Galaxy is lower than Nothing Phone 2A. So I think that's it for our Versus series. Nothing Phone wins on the design, screen, performance, and charging speed, while Galaxy A35 wins on the build quality, storage, camera, and updates.